Alright YouTube, what has got? It's Hightower 5000 here today, bringing another quest guide. Today's quest guide is dealing with Scarbaras. I can start this quest by speaking to the High Priest in Sophanum. This quest has the following requirements of level 60 Feeding, level 50 Agility, level 60 Strength, and level 21 Fire Making. I also must have completed the quest's Contacts, which there's a link to in the description below, the Feuds, and Zogar Flesh Eaters, which there is also a link to in the description below. I must be able to defeat multiple foes of level 100 and greater, and it also really does help if you have 60 or more crafting. If you don't have 60 or more crafting, then you have to wait 30 hours in this quest, which is a bit of a bummer. Just for notification purposes, the official difficulty of this quest is Master, however the length is only medium. Okay, so the item requirements for this quest are you're going to require some decent armor to be able to kill some level 100 pluses as well. You're also going to require some food. I also recommend having some prayer. We will get a chance to bank though before we actually go into some of the major combat. You're also going to require some Uthanki dung as well, which I'll show you how to get in a second. You're also going to require 10 gold artifacts. I've got golden statues here from Pyramid Plunder. However, you can also use golden seals or golden statues. You're also going to require a pyramid top, which I'll also show you how to get in a moment. And you're also going to require 18 bronze bars. Unfortunately, we can't use them yet. We're basically going to be given a task list and we're going to have to make stuff out of them. However, we can't do that yet, so just bring the bars. You don't actually necessarily have to bring them. I'd also recommend bringing some water skins, a rope as well, so we can create ourselves an agility shortcut. You're also going to need a few logs. You're going to need an anti-poison for the final dungeon. I'd also maybe recommend the Kenis as well, which we got at the end of the last contact quest. And finally, I'd also recommend bringing a Fatal Scepter because it means we can teleport back here to Sophanum a lot easier. Alright, okay, so to obtain some Unthanki dung, what you want to do is head to Pollenvich. Pollenvich is the city in the middle of the desert. I just got the magic carpet down from Al-Kharid, and what you're going to want to do is find the kebab shop in the town. And once you find the kebab shop, what you're going to do is you're going to talk to Ali the kebab seller. You're then going to select option number 3, could you sell me a bottle of that extra special kebab sauce? And then after all that, you'll get a bottle of red hot sauce. Okay, so with this bottle of red hot sauce, what we're going to do is head into the camel farm, which is just directly to the south of the kebab shop. And once you're in the camel farm, what you're going to do is enter into the pen where the 2 camels are. And what you're going to do is you're going to use the sauce on one of these things that they eat out of, the trows. And then basically wait a few seconds and the camels will eat out of them, and then they'll poo out this Utanki dung. As you see, it is there, so you pick it up. As long as you've got a bucket in your inventory, then it'll go into a bucket. All your buckets will get filled up, and that's just got some Utanki dung. Okay, so to obtain the pyramid top, what you're going to have to do is come to the Agility Pyramid, which is located in the southeast of the desert. You're going to see this person called Simon Templeton. We're going to be coming back and talking to him later on in this quest, but what we're going to have to do is unfortunately climb the whole pyramid. Shouldn't take you too long, and at the very top I'll show you what to do. Okay, so once you get up to the top of the Agility Pyramid on the top floor, what you want to do is navigate yourself up these climb the rocks here just on the side of the exit to the temple, and you'll climb up and you'll get the pyramid top, and that is us achieve that. So to get off the pyramid, what you want to do is pass over this rolling boulder here, jump the scat, and then head through the door, which will take you down to the bottom of the pyramid, and we're back down here and Simon is just located up there. So to get started, we're going to be where we were for the quest Contact, in the middle of Sophanum, right beside the river here where the main sort of church is, and we're going to start off by talking to the High Priest. You're going to select option number 1, what news. Okay, so that is now you started the quest. So what you're going to do is come over here to the ladder just to the southwest and then climb up it, and then you should enter into a cutscene. Turns out this is Mesa up here, and basically she was someone who we met up with in the Contact quest down in the tunnels. Okay, so once you've skipped through all the text, Mesa is going to be up, around and walking, so go over and talk to her. And then you're going to have to go through all of her options. Finally, once you're done going through all the options, what you're going to do is go back downstairs and talk to the High Priest again. So back down the ladder in the southwest corner and then talk to the High Priest, who should be in the middle of the room. High Priest is then going to ask that you talk to that old woman, meaning Mesa, And then that is that part complete. Okay, so once you're finished talking to the High Priest now, we need to go to the east of the city. So you're going to leave the city via the eastern exit like I'm doing, like so. Out of this small gate here, and basically the doorman say you can pass. And then you're going to find the coastline here. You're going to follow the coastline here east until you get under an arch. Once you get under this arch, you're going to head into a swamp. Now, some of the monsters in the swamp are going to be aggressive, so do watch out. If you need to eat some food, put your prayers on. But what you're going to do is head sort of in a northwesterly direction. And then once you get up to here, round about mid-swamp, you're actually going to want to go to your west, southwest a tad. And then you're going to want to go north, and you're going to land up getting in front of this fallen pillar. This is where you're aiming for if you need to make your way through the swamp. And then you're going to climb over this fallen pillar. Might take you 1 or 2 attempts, and then climb up the stairs, and then you're going to land up seeing these archaeologists. Okay, so once you're up here, you're going to go and talk to the lead archaeologist. Now for this, make sure you have 1 or 2 free inventory slots like I do, and then you're going to select option number 1, feel free to test me. And then basically you're going to get some mathematics stuff here. It's going to ask you some random questions, so it is going to be different for everyone. You might require a calculator for this if your arithmetic isn't too good. The questions will be harder dependent on your combat level. The higher combat level you have, the questions will be harder, the lower it will be easier. So my first question is, as a general rule, always round down to the nearest whole number. So 17 divided by 10 would equal 1 in this trial. So she gives you an example, and then you're going to get asked the questions. If you get an answer wrong, you'll just go back to the start. There's about 3 or 4 questions to be answered. Okay, so once you've finally answered, for me it was 4 questions correctly, then basically talk to her again. And then basically you'll be given this crate to fill up stuff with. So from here we're going to head in a westerly direction through this gap over here, and then we're going to climb over the low wall. You might for this part need to put on protect from range, melee, whatever, because there are mummies here, and you're going to see this rock here that's sort of dragging out. Now you might have already created this shortcut, but use your rope on this and it's going to create you a shortcut. So we're going to climb down the rope, and you can also climb back up this rope, so in future there's no need to go through the swamp. And then we're back down where the agility pyramid was. Now we're just going to head up and talk to Simon. Okay, so once you arrive, talk to Simon Templeton, and then basically select option number 1. Some archaeologists asked me to deliver some objects to you. And then select option number 1 again. So basically that is you going to hand over the artifacts, and then hopefully if you select option number 1 again, you'll give over the pyramid plunder top like so. So once you've got that done, what you're going to do is you're going to then need to do something with these bronze bars. Now we actually got given a list when we're talking to the archaeologist. So if you come into your quest guide here, it's going to say, it says really poorly in this. The colour scheme is absolutely terrible, but mine says 18 ancient bronze swords, so I need to go create myself some bronze swords. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to go to one of the anvils anyway, so I'm going to go up to Varrock, because Varrock has got quite a good bank close by. We came and talked to Simon Templeton right there, so we cleared out some of our inventory. So we needed to give him 3 things. We gave him the pyramid top, we gave him the pyramid plunder gold artifacts, and now all we need to do is give him the bronze things, and that's what we're about to do. So you can actually go to a city with any anvil. I'm just going to Varrock just because it's nice and easy, close to a lodestone, and it's also close to a bank. If you've not got bronze bars, and obviously the time is now to go and buy them, don't worry though, we're not going to be going into any more combat situations before we go to another bank. We will get a chance to bank again, so do not worry. So what you're going to want to do is withdraw all your 18 bronze bars like I'm doing, like so. So make sure you have 18 bars in your inventory. Now everyone's items are going to be different. As I said, mine's are bronze swords. Don't worry about the ancient part right now though. That's where the dung comes in, and we'll deal with that in a second. Okay, so once you've got all your items made, we're going to have to head back out into the desert to be able to make them ancient. So you're going to teleport. If you do have a Fatal Scepter, and you're going to select the second option here, this should take us out to the agility pyramids like so. If not, then you're probably going to have to use the magic carpet again down to soften them and then run over here. Once you get back to Simon Templeton, before you talk to him, what we're going to do is use the dung on these items, and then basically it's going to turn them into oxidite swords. You're then going to have to use the dung on all these individually, unfortunately, and then once all the swords or your items have been turned into oxidized, then you're going to use them on the empty crate, and then that's going to fill the crate up. So with this crate full, you're now going to talk to Simon Templeton again, and then you're going to select option number 1. The archaeologist asked me to deliver some artifacts to you. Then you're going to select option number 1 again. I'd like to supply you with some bronze antiques. As you see here, it says nice fakes, but they'll do. And then basically you can continue through the chat, and you're going to get this receipt here. So you're going to re-talk to him again, and then you're going to select option number 1 about that little job you mentioned. So Simon then tells us to go and talk to the mummy in Pyramid Plunder. So use your Pharaoh Scepter if you have it and select the top option. If not, go back to Sophanheim, find the correct entrance. There's 4 doors around the pyramid. In one of them there will be the mummy. Once you arrive here, you're going to talk to the mummy. Then select option number 1. I'd rather talk about artifacts a bit more. And then that part is done. So for this next part, this is the part where we're actually going to go into combat. So what you're going to want to do is go to the bank. There is a bank in Sophanheim which everyone can get access to after they've completed the contacts quest. So if you exit the pyramid and then you go to your east, you'll come into this building here. If you climb down the ladder here, then basically there will be a bank down here which you can resupply and get ready for combat. Alright, okay, so once you're set up now, you've got some food in your inventory. You've also got some anti-poisons I recommend. I've also got some extra brews. Recharge my Pharaoh Scepter, so it's on 2 charges now. You might need to replace yours however you can. Get away with not recharging it. Retops up my water skins. Make sure you have also your artifact receipts, and I've also got dung. I don't know if you need that or not, but I'm taking it with me anyway just in case. You're also going to require logs. Now I said bring logs, I said it very vague at the start, and I do apologise about this. This part here, what you need to do is with your fire making level, what you need to do is, my fire making level for example is 99, so what I do is I take 20 off that, and then all logs up to 79 I can be able to use. So for example, if you have 80, then if you take away 20, you can use up to 60. So then you'd be able to use or something like that, if you get what I mean. So hopefully I should be able to use magic logs with my 99 fire making. So what we're going to do is we're going to teleport back to the agility pyramid. So we're going to select the second option on the Pharaoh Scepter again. If you can't do that, and just exit the north of the city and then walk in a northeasterly direction. Once you get back here, you're going to talk to Simon again, and then say that you'd like to talk a bit, and then select option number 1 about that little job you mentioned, and then you can select option number 1, I spoke to the mummy in Sophanheim. And then once you've gone through all the chat, you'll actually come back to this menu here, but that has us initiated that part there, so we can exit out of that. So we're going to head back now to the archaeologists who are up in the mountains. So if you have created the agility shortcut with the rope, then you can go back down these rocks here and then go along the south of the pyramid and then climb up the rope. However, if you haven't brought the rope or for some reason don't have a shortcut in place, then you're unfortunately going to have to go right down to the bottom, under the arch, back through the swamp and then up that way. Again, watch out for the mummies, climb over the wall and then continue in the easterly direction, and then you'll end up seeing their camp. One important factor as well which I would suggest, my water skins are running quite low. I seem to be drinking out of them every minute, which is ridiculous. This water spring here you can use to refill up your water skins at any point. Just a wee top tip for you there. So anyway, once you're done all that, you're going to talk to the lead archaeologist again. And then basically you're going to ask what now, and then she's going to take the receipt off you, and then you're going to be given a book. This book now we've got to go ahead and fill up. Okay, so to obtain the pages for this book, what we're going to do is run north here through this wee gap just above the archaeologist, and then we're going to head off here. And you're going to see these skeletons over to this side, and then you're going to see these dried zombies up here. You're going to kill them, and basically they should hopefully drop you some pages for this book, the Scarbaras pages, and in total you'll be getting 4 pages. So it might take you 1 kill, it might take you 100 kills. It's really random on how they drop the pages, but as you can see I've got my first notes there. You need to land up getting 4 of these. All you want to do is then copy it, and then basically it'll be transformed into your book. Okay, so once you feel that you've got all the notes, what you want to do is just read through the book and hopefully it should be all complete. If you want to double check before you go back to the Archaeologist, then come into your quest guide here and it should say I've collected enough research materials, I should return this to the Archaeologist. If for some reason you haven't collected all the pieces, then it'll say 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4 or 1 out of 4. So once you've managed to get all the pieces and complete the book, you're going to head back through the gap here and then speak to the lead Archaeologist. Now the lead Archaeologist is then going to take that and realise that you've completed it, and then you're going to receive a key. This is going to give us access to the dungeon which we're about to go in up ahead. So if you can go back north again, and now that we are ready for combat, if for some reason you're not ready for combat or them zombies were too difficult for you, you had to kill too many, go back to the bank now, but now we can head down the staircase here. Right, okay, so let's climb down these stairs, and then once you get down the stairs you're going to be into this cave. So you're going to come to your south here and you can see this clay golem, and you can start talking to the clay golem, and then the clay golem is basically prompting you about what is about to happen across all these rooms. There's going to be some puzzles and 1 or 2 things. It's quite dark right now, so first of all we're going to smoke up this furnace. So what you want to do is select option number 3, I'm ready for you to operate the levers, and then the golem is going to say I'm afraid you need a fire. So if you need to, then what you're going to do is remove some stuff out of here. We brought actually extra logs. However, what you want to do first of all is remove that log from out of here. Obviously magic is actually going to last longer than normal logs would anyway, so that's why I'm actually going to put a magic in there. We're going to drop this, so obviously the higher the log, then the longer it's going to last, and you do need it to last a long time. So once you've done that, you're going to come back and talk to the golem, and then again you're going to select option number 3 now that there's a fire going. Just a note here as well, note that if you don't finish setting the power levels all in one go, you'll have to restoke the furnace. That's why I brought some extra logs in case we can't unfortunately do it. So let's get underway. So basically you're going to rank these rooms in order, and the ones that you choose first you make easier actually. So I would highly recommend, it depends, if you have 99 feeding then I maybe wouldn't recommend this, but I'd recommend selecting option number 4, the mystery box, because the mystery box is actually a memorization puzzle. However, I would recommend getting a piece of paper and pen and watching this full part through before you actually go and do it yourself. So I'm going to select option number 4 because feeding is my lowest level out of feeding, agility, combat and strength. So basically now that I'm going to get a lot more help with feeding, I'm then going to choose option number 3, the narrow walkway, because my agility is also quite low. I'm then going to choose the Scarab room because that's to do with my strength. So basically this is where the Scarab is, and don't worry, this isn't actually the main fight, this is only as difficult as the Scarab was in the contact quest, and then that is all the rooms set up. Okay, so from here we're going to get started, and we're going to start off by accessing this south room. So it's the first south room. You're going to walk through it and then you're just going to pull the lever like so, and then you've activated one of the 4 levers. So there's 4 levers, so that's the first room in a sense complete. Don't get how that works, don't bother asking me. What you're going to do is then come to the room north of it, and then you're going to climb over the plank. If you do fail, you'll climb up that ladder there. Then you want to pull this lever, that's the second lever done. You're going to want to go back across the pipe. If you fall down this time, climb up that ladder there. You're then going to want to go into the room to your west and kill the Scarab next. So get your prayers ready. So I've been in legacy mode this whole quest because I don't like EOC. This is my best and preferred combat method. So if you need to obviously use food, use prayers, I think that Scarab should be okay at my level. Scarab is level 92. It has actually quite high defense, though I'm hitting it quite high. And I'm level 112 right now. But as you've seen there, it really didn't take me too long to kill whatsoever. I do have okay armor, I don't have the best armor, but I use no food or anything like that. Okay, so once you've done that, we're going to head south and into this room here. This is where you're badly going to need the paper and pen, unless you somehow have like a wonderful memory, like such an amazing memory. So basically here we get 20 tries, and what you need to do is you need to identify, you only get to identify 3 runes at once. So as you see there, that is it's 2 air runes and then a water rune. So I'd recommend writing these down And to manage to get these runes to disappear and to complete the puzzle, you need to identify 3 runes of the same type. So I've got 2 airs there. Somewhere there's going to be another air here. So then what I need to do is I need to identify that and choose them all in order. You might not get what I mean, but just watch what I do. So I've wrote down AAW for air, air, water. It's then going to be another W for water. It's then going to be a blood. And then it is going to be a blood. So as you can see now, basically these numbers start to knock down every 3 runes you choose. It's going to knock down a point, and if you get down to 0 you have to restart it, which is quite unfortunate. But as long as you keep a track of everything, I've used 2 A's, I've used 2 W's, and I've used 2 bloods. So 2 airs, 2 waters, 2 bloods. And as soon as you recognise 3 runes of the same type on the board, activate them, because it'll make your life a lot easier. So I'm going to move on to the second row now and sort of complete this process. I won't speed this up, because this is probably the most difficult puzzle of the quest. So as you see, death, fire, fire, and then we've got earth, death, and I believe that is steam. Then we've got earth again, chaos, and blood. So that's me now identifying 3 bloods, so I can do the 2 bloods that I've noted down, and that passes that part of the puzzle. I've identified all the bloods now, and as you can see, they're permanently there in view. So I'm going to continue on. So water, steam are my next ones, so I can actually complete 2 in 1 here. I've got water there, water there, water there. I've then got steam there, and steam there. Going to continue on. Nature, nature, fire. So I've also now got 3 fires as well, so fire, fire, fire. There we go. Continuing on, got earth, so that's now my 3rd earth, nature, and mind. So I've now got 3 earth runes, so I can identify all these like so. And you do need to watch out as well, because body runes are about to come up here. There's a chaos, there's a mind, and there's another mind. But if you do get body, this is totally different for everyone, then watch out because they clash with blood. So we've got mind there, and mind there. Next 3 are body, body, and body, so that's actually quite ideal there. Body, body, body. Final row, we've got chaos, air, and cosmic. So we've now got 3 chaos. So we've got chaos, chaos, and chaos. We've also got air, air, and air. If for some reason you feel that you've been doing fine and you're starting to get low numbers, if you turn this manipulate switch, as long as you've had good momentum, then you'll be given some extra shots. However, if you have failed and you turn that, there's a possibility that actually might lower your shots. So you might have to play around with it. It's also partially luck as well. If you fail it though, of course, you can go back and redo it again. So continuing on with our final row, we have cosmic, cosmic, and death. So you need to watch out as well, because cosmic and chaos also have the same starting letter. Identified the cosmics there. Now I can identify the death runes. And then finally I can identify the nature runes, and that is the puzzle solved. So you've activated 3 of the 4 levers. If you come over here, that lever automatically gets done for you, so we can now leave this room. One thing I forgot to do actually is pull the lever in the Scarab room as well. And then basically that is us pulled all the 4 levers, and that is us completed all them tasks. Okay, so we're now going to head to the final boss fight. If for some reason you landed up using a lot of food on that Scarab there, then please go back now. Watch this part first of all before you attempt it. Watch this whole part. You should be watching this whole thing anyway. So now we're going to head along this corridor to the west. Watch out for traps as well, so I'd recommend as you walk along, just put your cursor in front of you, and then you're going to see these traps. So what you're going to want to do is search the floor and then select option number 1. Try use your agility skills and avoid them. And there's multiple, so I'd recommend moving very slowly here. Usually where it gets more dark, there seems to be a trap. Now once you get into this area here, this is a general combat area. You do need to watch out because there are some Scarab things, and they're actually quite low level. They have a very low defense, however they actually have a really high and powerful attack. So I'd recommend following my route. What we're going to do is we're going to be heading in northwesterly direction, and then hopefully once you get up into the northwest corner, as you can see they're all being quite aggressive towards me, then you're going to enter into this door here, and there should be the High Priest of Scarabs. This is in the northwestern corner. So you can enter into a cutscene now, and then you can start off by talking to the High Priest. Now make sure you choose your options carefully here and listen to me as long as I've got this right. One thing is to point out is that Wikipedia and RuneHQ actually have 2 different things for this. While I was doing my research, it turns out that they have got different sort of methods of approaching this. Wikipedia suggests you start off with Conversation A, so that's what I'm going to go with. However, they do actually converge into the same thing later on, so don't worry. You can see how my outcome does. So basically for this part you need to anger and insult, so you can actually first of all attack the Scarab. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and anger them, and we're going to insult something. So if you want to be attacked by mage, insult its mage. If you want to be attacked by range, insult its range. Wouldn't recommend getting an attack from melee, even if you have the best defensive melee armor on, just because supposedly the melee hits really high compared to the other two. So I went with magics, and then I'm going to put on my protect from mage prayer, and then we're going to attack the high priest, and then the high priest is going to attack back. And as you can see, it's actually quite easy for me to deal with. However, again, as a relatively high defense, but I seem to absolutely slash it, absolutely no problem. So then the Scarab is going to be okay, everything's good, and then you're going to come back, and in a sense it's going to sort of be a repeat sort of cycle. You're going to be looping through this quite a few times. It is quite annoying. This time, however, I'm actually going to select a different option. I'm going to select option number 4 by all the deities, I think it is pronounced, and then I'm going to select option number 2, it sounds like. And then again, you're going to have to attack it again. Not at all sure, it's going to attack me with range this time. It's quite easy to see what way you're getting attacked from. You can see the range arrows come back here. However, I actually do have a melee symbol which is attacking me. Then you have to kill the high priest a few times over, and eventually it'll tell you once you're done, and we'll sort of like chop out the cutscene. So again, we're just going to repeat this, number 4 and then number 2. I selected them two options again, and then as you can see I've sort of left the cutscene now. If you very quickly come in here and check your quest guide, you can see that the High Priest of Scarabs, you've had a mixed conversation, and that basically he has agreed to be peaceful towards you. So that's us actually done the quest. That wee last bit there is going to be different to every single player. Once you leave the room, then basically that's you totally deactivated the High Priest conversation. For some reason these out here are still a wee bit aggressive towards me, but I don't really care. What you want to do is either leave the cave the way we came in, or you can use your Fatal Scepter and you can teleport back out to soften them. If you're doing like me and you're exiting the pyramid, what we want to do is go back and talk to the High Priest, who was in the very original building we started off the quest, which was beside the river. Then you're basically going to report back, seeing what you found out and all this sort of stuff, and then that'll be the quest complete. So quite easy. So congratulations, quest complete. You earn 1 quest point. You can now craft enchanted water tiaras, which means you don't have to wear or use these fucking water skins anymore, which last only like 2 seconds. You get 7,000 agility XP, 7,000 prayer XP, 7,000 strength XP, and 7,000 thieving XP. You also get yourself 2 cheeky wee treasure hunter keys. Okay guys, thank you for watching this quest guide, and I'll catch you in the next one.